If you think cheap means unsafe, then think again, because I'm gonna give you the top 10 budget cars to purchase right now, and I've ranked them based on NCAP safety ratings. Now, I must say that the winner surprised me, and I'm sure you'll be equally as surprised, but the numbers don't lie. So, without wasting any more of your time, let's get started. Car Talks: Power, Precision, Performance. But before we dive into the ranking, let's do a bit of housekeeping first. For starters, we've ranked the cars primarily based on their Euro NCAP scores. And for those particular models that have not been tested in Europe, we've placed reliance on the equivalent global NCAP. For those of you who may be new to the automotive world, NCAP stands for New Car Assessment Program, which is basically the industry standard safety test that uses crash and other assessments to give cars a 1 to 5-star rating, with 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. However, within that 5-star rating, there are a series of individual tests that are scored out of 100%, independently from one another. So, for example, it's of no benefit if the car scores 90% for adult occupant protection, but only achieves 30% for child occupant protection, irrespective of what the final star rating says. So on that basis, we'll be using the average score in percentage terms for our rankings, and not necessarily the stars. Number 2, all cars ranked are brand new passenger models currently on sale in South Africa, priced under 350,000 rands, and we've only considered the base trim of each model. Number 3, the installments are calculated over 72 months at the current prime interest rate of 10.5% per annum, with no balloon and no deposit. The monthly figure also includes a 69 Rand admin fee and a once-off initiation fee of 1,207 rands and 50 cents. Last but not least, the footage you'll be seeing across the video has been captured at We Buy Cars and is for illustrative purposes only. We're not saying go and purchase your car at We Buy Cars, and we're not saying don't purchase your car from them either. It's imperative to conduct your own research before you purchase any vehicle. This does not constitute financial, tax, legal, investment, or other advice, by the way. Before making any decision or taking any action regarding your finances, you should consult a qualified financial advisor. Now that housekeeping is done and dusted, let's get to the fun part, the list. At number 10 is the Hyundai Grand i10. The base model starts from 224,900 rands and is powered by a 1-liter 3-cylinder petrol engine producing 48.5 kilowatts and 94 Newton meters of torque. Power is sent to the front wheels via a 5-speed manual gearbox. You can expect to pay 4,315 rands a month on installments only. It gets a Euro NCAP rating of 3 stars and an average score of 63.75%. The example in the overplay video is a 2022 model selling for 183,900 rands. For the avoidance of any doubt, most of the cars on the showroom floor are locked, and so I will not be showing the interior on any of the overplay videos. At number 9 is the Toyota Starlet. The base model is the XI, which starts from 258,000 rands and is powered by a 1.5-liter 4-cylinder petrol engine, producing 77 kilowatts and 138 Newton meters of torque. Power is sent to the front wheels via a 5-speed manual gearbox. You can expect to pay 4,937 rands a month on installments alone. It gets a Euro NCAP rating of 4 and an average score of 67%. Under the skin, this is effectively a Suzuki Baleno, and the rating applies to both. The example in the overplay video is a 2024 XR automatic selling for 266,900 rands. At number 8 is the Suzuki Swift. The base model is the GL, which starts from 224,900 rands and is powered by a 1.2-liter 3-cylinder petrol engine producing 60 kilowatts and 112 Newton meters of torque. Power is sent to the front wheels via a 5-speed manual gearbox. You can expect to pay 315 rands a month on installments only. It gets a Euro NCAP rating of 3 and an average score of 67.5%. The example in the overplay video is a 2022 GL selling for 203,900 rands. At number 7 is the Citroën C3 Aircross, or Citroën if you're French. The base model is called the Plus, which starts from 277,900 rands and is powered by a 1.2-liter 3-cylinder petrol engine producing 60 kilowatts and 115 Newton meters of torque. Power is sent to the front wheels via a 5-speed manual gearbox. You can expect to pay 5,310 rands a month on installments alone. It gets a Euro NCAP rating of 5 with an average score of 72.75%. The example in the overplay video is a previous generation 2021 1.2-liter Pure Tech selling for 201,900 rands. At number 6 is the Nissan Magnite. The base model is called the Vizia, which starts from 246,200 rands and is powered by a 1-liter 3-cylinder petrol engine producing 53 kilowatts and 96 Newton meters of torque. Power is sent to the front wheels only via a 5-speed manual gearbox. You can expect to pay 4,715 rands a month on installments only. It gets a global NCAP rating of 5 stars for adult occupants with a 3-star rating for child occupants and an average score of 74.1%. The example in the overplay video is a 2021 1-liter Accenter Plus with a CVT gearbox selling for 179,900 rands. Which brings me to my next point that during 2025, the Magnite improved its global NCAP rating from a 2 to a 5-star because it now comes with 6 airbags and ESC as standard in the Indian market. So be careful as to the model year when making a purchase on these. We are now halfway through the list, so if you are enjoying these videos, then do well to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. It really does go a long way. Now, to address the other elephant in the room, you may have noticed that some of the NCAP ratings contained in this video are listed as expired. The short answer is that these ratings are commonly valid for a period of 6 years or until a newer model is introduced as a replacement, whichever comes first. So an expired rating simply means that it's an old result that NCAP doesn't treat as up to date anymore. And if the newer model has not been tested, then it remains as untested. It does not mean that the car is no longer safe, but it does mean that you need to do a little bit more homework in gaining comfort over the newer model, including searching for tests that have been performed in other parts of the world, amongst others. At number 5 is the Hyundai i20. The base model is called the Premium, which starts from 309,900 rands and is powered by a 1.2-liter 4-cylinder petrol engine producing 61 kilowatts and 114.7 Newton meters of torque. Power is sent to the front wheels only via a 5-speed manual gearbox. You can expect to pay 5,911 rands a month on installments only. It gets a Euro NCAP rating of 4 stars and an average score of 75.25%. The example in the overplay video is the previous generation 2017 1.4-liter Fluid selling for 171,900 rands. Coming in at number 4 is the Mazda 2. The base model is the Active, which starts from 321,500 rands and is powered by a 1.5-liter 4-cylinder petrol engine producing 85 kilowatts and 148 Newton meters of torque. Power is sent to the front wheels only via a 6-speed manual gearbox. First time having a 6-speed on this list, by the way. You can expect to pay 6,129 rands a month on installments only. It gets a Euro NCAP rating of 4 stars and an average score of 78%. The example in the overplay video is a 2020 individual plus selling for 219,900 rands. At number 3 is the Mahindra XUV 3XO. The base model is the MX2 and starts from 259,999 rands and is powered by a 1.2-liter 3-cylinder petrol engine producing 82 kilowatts and 200 newton meters of torque. Power is sent to the front wheels only via a 6-speed manual gearbox. You can expect to pay 4,974 rands a month on installments alone. It gets a global NCAP rating of 5 stars for adult occupant protection, 4 stars for child occupant protection, and an average score of 81.61%. Slight caveat: the latest available global NCAP rating actually belongs to the XUV 300, which is the predecessor of the XUV 3XO. So this goes back to the due diligence exercise that we spoke about earlier, that one would need to do to satisfy themselves that the safety standards of the XUV 3XO have not deteriorated when compared to the XUV 300. At number 2 is the Renault Clio, or Renault if you're French. The base model is the Life, which starts from 312,999 rands and is powered by a 1-liter 3-cylinder petrol engine producing 74 kilowatts and 116 newton meters of torque. Power is sent to the front wheels only via a 5-speed manual gearbox. You can expect to pay 5,969 rands per month on the installment alone. It gets a Euro NCAP rating of 5 stars and an average score of 83%. Now we're getting into the big leagues. Now the next 2 cars narrowly missed a top 10 spot but still provide great value for money. They were literally less than 1% away from being in the top 10. Coming in at number 11 is the VW Polo Vivo. The base model is just called the Vivo, which starts from 271,900 rand and is powered by a 1.4-liter 4-cylinder petrol engine producing 55 kilowatts and 130 newton meters of torque. Power is sent to the front wheels only via a 5-speed manual gearbox. You can expect to pay 5,198 rands a month on the installment alone. It gets a global NCAP rating of 4 stars for adult occupant protection, 3 stars for child occupant protection, and an average score of 63.39%. The example in the overplay video is a 2023 Vivo selling for 235,900 rands. At number 12 is the Kia Picanto, and the base model is the LS, which starts from 236,995 rands and is powered by a 1-liter 3-cylinder petrol engine producing 49 kilowatts and 95 newton meters of torque. Power is sent to the front wheels only via a 5-speed manual gearbox. You can expect to pay 4,542 rands a month on the installment alone. It gets a Euro NCAP rating of 3 stars and an average score of 63%. The example in the overplay video is the previous generation 2018 1.2-liter Smart Automatic selling for 157,900 rands. Finally then, drum roll please. Coming in hot at number 1 is the Suzuki Desire. The base model is the GA, which starts from 224,900 rands and is powered by a 1.2-liter 3-cylinder petrol engine producing 60 kilowatts and 112 newton meters of torque. Power is sent to the front wheels only via a 5-speed manual gearbox. You can expect to pay 4,315 rands a month on installment only. It gets a global NCAP rating of 5 stars for adult occupant protection, 4 stars for child occupant protection, and a whopping 84.86% as an average score. Congratulations, Suzuki. The next 2 cars should have been on the top 10 list but fell outside due to price. The Opel Corsa achieved a Euro NCAP rating of 4 stars and an average score of 76.25%, which would have made it 5th on our list, but it's priced from 379,500 rands, which falls outside of our upper limit of 350,000. The VW Polo achieved a Euro NCAP rating of 5 stars and an average score of 78.5%, which would have technically made it number 4 on our list, but it's priced from 373,800 rands, also falling outside of our upper limit of 350,000 rands. The next 2 cars are amongst a plethora of vehicles that have missed a top 10 slot by a very long shot, owing to poor safety ratings. The Renault Kwid only managed to achieve a 2-star global NCAP safety rating for adult occupant protection, a 2-star rating for child occupant protection, and an average score of 41.61%. On the other hand, the Suzuki Espresso achieved a 3-star global NCAP safety rating for adult occupant protection, a 2-star rating for child occupant protection, and an average score of 33.3%. Both the Espresso and the Kwid have a starting price of under 200,000 rands brand new, so it does ring true that the cheapest car is not necessarily the best one to buy. I also want to emphasize the fact that this ranking is purely based on crash test ratings, but doesn't paint the full picture. It doesn't tell us about the dealership network of the OEM, or the reliability of the product, or the availability of spare parts. Sure, the Suzuki Desire is number 1 on the list, but whether or not you should buy one is completely subjective and depends on your personal needs. Do you even desire the Desire? See what I did there? Desire the Desire. I always say that buy a car that you can afford primarily, and then secondly, buy a car that you're going to be happy paying for. For the average South African, you're married to that car for 5 or 6 years, so it's critically important to be content with the choice that you've made. If you're planning to buy a car in the near future, then don't miss my other video comprising 10 essential car buying tips, from understanding credit scores to unpacking affordability assessments and everything else in between. Tap on the video on the left-hand side of your screen and make sure that your next car purchase is the right one. Thanks for watching. Take care.